is just to be like flexible and resilient.
Mm.
Things aren't always going to fit into like a neat little box, and that's okay.
Hi, everyone. Elle Ballard is here today on the Empowered Global Women in Business podcast with my guest, Madeleine Lambert. Hi, Madeleine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Madeleine Lambert is a director of marketing and sales at Originality.ai, a global leader in AI content detection. Madeleine has an impressive career trajectory, having co-founded Content Refined, a successful marketing company, alongside John Gilham, CEO of Originality AI. Content Refined was sold for millions in 2022. Drawing from her entrepreneurial journey, including the triumphs and challenges she experienced while co-founding and growing Content Refined, Madeleine is dedicated to developing future female leaders. She aims to inspire and motivate women to pursue their own business ventures. Welcome, Madeleine.
Thank you so much.
So, what motivated you, inspired you to do this kind of work?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess it all comes down to opportunity, right? So we'll backtrack a little bit. I started my co-founder John Gilliam and I started Content Refined in 2016, which was a content marketing agency. So we started that together from zero. We built it up together. And then in 2022, when we saw, the wave of generative AI coming, we decided to exit that business because we saw some of the pain points that generative AI was going to cause to our business. So we decided to get in front of the problem in a different way by starting Originality, which is a software that detects the use of generative AI in content. So we, as marketing agency professionals, always knew that content validation was like already the hardest part of our job. So proving to our clients was already the hardest part. Proving to our clients that the content that they were ordering from us was high quality was already the hardest part of our job. And so we knew generative AI was just going to make this even harder. And so by creating a software that detects generative AI, we saw an opportunity to get in front of the problem in a different way. And so that's kind of how the idea of Originality AI came out. And then, yeah, it's been launched over 2 years ago now. And yeah, we've been growing steadily, and it's been a really exciting journey to be part of.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So for those of the listeners who are new to this whole area, if you could explain, what do you mean by the generative AI?
So generative AI. So I'm sure that a lot of your listeners have heard of like ChatGPT or other
Yes.
large language models that generates, endless amounts of text. So once that was open sourced and made available to basically anybody,
Hmm.
it basically made it really, really difficult to differentiate between human written content and AI generated content.
Mm.
And so as a
Mm.
marketing agency, we knew that was going to be problematic. We knew that we're going to have writers and subcontractors using generative AI for our clients' content. So that's what I mean by getting ahead of the problem, by exiting the business and then creating a piece of software that would detect this.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. So, in your business building, and congratulations on your successes, entrepreneurial successes before as well, and now you're
Thank
building this
you.
company. And this is the Empower Global Women in Business podcast where, we inspire and motivate as the women building businesses or thinking to start their own business. What are some of the lessons, or maybe one big lesson that comes to mind that you learned in building your
Yeah,
businesses?
content marketing agency, built that from the ground up. But I've also, dabbled in other entrepreneurial ventures as well. Like I purchased a bakery in 2022.
Oh, cool.
Uh, And yeah, so it's been like I have my hands in many different things. And I guess the biggest lesson that I've sort of learned throughout this journey is just to be like flexible and resilient.
Mm,
Things aren't always going to fit into like a neat little box, and that's okay. And, sometimes opportunities are going to come up. And yes, you classify yourself as an entrepreneur, as, I do as well. But I'm also okay with having like a full-time stable role in a company, right? Like,
yeah,
so you can be an entrepreneur, but you can also be an employee sometimes, and that's okay.
yeah.
And you just need to find something that like fulfills you and scratches that itch. For me, I found that being flexible, being resilient, and working tirelessly to kind of define your own successes is kind of the biggest lesson I've learned. And that, what I mean by like not fitting into like this perfect little box, I was raised at least by like non-entrepreneur parents, right? And
Yeah.
I was raised with the belief that like you would grow up and then you would have a job and then you would like maybe start a family if you wanted to. And that these were all like compartmentalized into different areas of your life. But mine kind of all blended together. Like I started my businesses. I had three small children in the middle of all of that. I
Oh,
purchased a bakery the week after my youngest daughter was born. And, I've worked with children on my lap. I've brought kids into my bakery to work with me, like yeah, pulled all-nighters to make it work. And you just figure it out. It doesn't have to fit into like a perfect little box, and that's okay.
I love that. I was clapping earlier because flexible it's my favorite word. I love talking about that because it's not a straight line, right? It's just and yeah, and like I love how you said success is we define success.
Totally, totally. And if that to you is having a 9 to 5, that's totally cool, right?
Yeah,
If you want a blend of that 9 to 5 and having like your own thing on the side, that's cool too. Like you get to define what success looks like to you.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, I love that. And staying flexible and staying open. And I totally learned that in building my own business and being a mom as well. Right.
Yes,
And carrying all these different cats.
for sure.
Flexibility is the key.
For sure. And
Yes.
yeah, life is going to throw things at you sometimes, and you just got to adapt.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love that. Okay, thank you for sharing that. I want to come back to for a little bit to Originality AI.
Yeah.
And the question that I wanted to talk about is the clientele that you guys work with. Who do you work with so that our listeners understand a little bit more? And then some of the, I guess, challenges that you solve and what size of companies that you're looking to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, what was the first question?
Yeah. What kind of clients that you're looking to work with? And I guess that the size of the company falls under that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, honestly, Originality is one of those pieces of software that kind of fits with a lot, like a very, very
Hmm.
wide range of clientele. So we have, like the single writer from like Bangladesh who uses us, and then we have some of the largest publishing houses in the world who use us. Like we have very, very, very diverse range of ICPs, but who we kind of market to are mid-sized content marketing agencies who already use quality control tools
Hmm.
within their content validation process. So they're
Hmm.
already using like a plagiarism checker. They already have like a robust editorial process. We market to those companies that can just plop us into their editorial process. So
Cool.
mid-sized content marketing agencies is kind of
Yeah.
like our where we're landing pretty well.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about, so it is Empowered Global Women in Business podcast. And so
Yes.
we've interviewed women from over 15 countries. And I love meeting all these beautiful, amazing women from all over the world. And I know you are based in Canada. And one of the questions I love to ask is, what does it mean for you to be a woman of the world?
I think that being a woman in the business world means wearing many different hats with like grace, determination, and without imposter syndrome. So many women have imposter syndrome, and I think that that is like an intrinsic flaw sometimes, you know what I mean? And we are powerful. We have the ability to make meaningful impact across all sorts of different spheres of life all at the same time. I think it's a really like I don't know how to explain it. I love being a woman in the business world, and I think it's can
Yeah.
be very impactful.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes, imposter syndrome is its own topic.
It is, it
But yeah,
is. Yeah,
it's so true. It's so true. How many of us, yeah, tackle with it? Yeah, I love that. Okay, awesome. And one add-on to that is really, I feel like it gets more complicated if we come from a different, different cultural background. Like if you're adding culture to that, like one thing is being a woman, and then you add culture to that, you add
for sure.
the other circumstances, the childhood. And so that's interesting to me. Like when I started researching the imposter syndrome, it's really all different levels. So it doesn't matter how much we achieve as women, we can still get those imposter syndromes. It's just on a different level.
100%. 100% for sure. And I think that, yeah, I think that just like working through it and
Yeah,
having the confidence to sort of like work through it and yeah, self teach. And, I think yeah, I don't know. I think we can show that we can have multifaceted roles and still
yeah,
excel and inspire others to sort of pursue their dreams without sacrificing parts of
yeah,
like who.
yeah, for sure. I love that. Okay, so say really quickly for our listeners, we are on the part Global Women in Business podcast, and we will post links on how to connect to Madeleine for sure, and whether on YouTube or podcast, audio podcast you're listening to. Okay, so I want to move us to the rapid fire questions section.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and I have 5 questions for you. You ready?
Yeah.
So your favorite book name is?
Oh, Stolen Focus.
Stolen Focus. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I just listened to it. Yeah, about do you want to hear about it?
Yes.
It's amazing. So it's about how like technology has
Ah,
and the way that technology has been designed and built has been like designed to steal our focus
hmm.
and how to like live in a world with technology and all of these amazing innovative things at our fingertips without losing the ability to like think deeply.
Hmm. Made a
Hmm.
note of that. Stolen Focus. Pretty
Yeah, really
cool.
good.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay. Beach or mountains?
Ooh, beach.
Favorite international destination to visit?
Thailand.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
And then the final question is things that you have discovered yourself recently
Things that I've discovered
about
recently
yourself
about
recently.
myself
Hmm.
that that's a good question. Um, that I am extremely patient. I'm an
Mm,
extremely patient human being. Yes.
that's a
Uh,
good one.
yeah, yeah. I was told this by multiple people over the last little while. I have children at really tricky ages right now, and my husband is not nearly as patient as I am. And it's yeah. So I would say patience.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, patience. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for playing.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
thank you for being in our podcast. This was so great. And if there's anything else in closing that you want to mention?
I don't think so, except that if you're somebody who, is struggling with content creation and would like to use a content validation tool like Originality, you can check us out at Originality.ai.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for being on Empowered Global Women in Business podcast, Madeleine. Nice to meet you. And we will see you all soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.